2014. Times were very difficult then. We were not even profitable as when we were back in college, and we had to feed this team. And I remember there were some tough times, including we didn't even have like money to pay the salary. So we were using Tiger's credit card to withdraw cash for the salary, as well as my own living expenses at the time. I remember something funny at the time. Although we were in a very tough financial situation, I still lived life like I should. And one day, he came up to me and said, "You're using my credit card to go on dates?" I said, well, guys gotta live, so those were some interesting times, but we actually pulled through. So in 2014, we got a multi-million USD contract and pretty much pulled us through that hardship. In 2015, we really started thinking about how to scale the company and building a standardized product. So that was our first product that actually sold to hundreds of companies. It was Nexus. So what Nexus is, it's called a customer data platform. What a customer data platform is, it produces insights about consumers and customers. And then it uses those insights for marketing, personalization, push notifications, etc. And most of the clients were either Fortune 500 companies or large Chinese companies. So in 2016, some of our largest customers, mostly banks, some financial institutions, B2C financial institutions, they came up to us and said, okay, these insights are good and everything, but it's not enough for what we need. We need very deep insights that the human eye cannot see. So we call this machine learning, predictive machine learning, pretty much. So based on those customer needs, we started developing what we call IQ, which is the artificial intelligence platform that's actually growing very fast in customer base until this day. So through this platform, their company's marketing team, their analyst team, even the management team could create AI models and then generate very deep consumer insights for example, which customers are about to leave your customer base, which customers are likely to buy tomorrow or next week, etc. Then came 2017, in which being a good software platform on itself is not enough. Our customers started asking us, okay, I have all this data, I have terabytes of data, or even more than that, but these are all internal data of my current customers. What can I do if I want data of people that are not my customers, but are potentially of my customers? So then we started working with third-party data providers, and some of them were very big companies like UnionPay. UnionPay is like Visa of China, right? It has all the credit card transaction data. And we also work with China Telecom, which is the largest mobile telecom provider. Now, not only do we need data, we need actually marketing channels and applications that these companies can use the insights to push marketing towards these new consumers. So then we partnered up with Tencent and Baidu for their search and ecosystem API partnership. Okay? Now, that didn't work out so well. The return on investment for our customers was very low. And our customers thought they were wasting money, even though these were actually pretty big brand names. So then we kind of started thinking, okay, so we might not use these anymore. We might not use these partnerships anymore, or not that much. We're definitely not going to rely on them. Is there any solution to fit this particular pain point that they have? Then we broke down the problems that the B2C ecosystem and what their data providers and what the marketing channels like Tencent and Baidu were not doing too much for them. First is a very big data problem. You see, first is centralized data model. is actually getting to a point where it's creating a bottleneck in the ecosystem. Only a few parties have control over 95% of the data, including companies like Facebook, Baidu, Tencent, Alibaba, and in Korea it's probably Naver and Line, right? That's in Japan. And so they have all the control over the data, they can set the price, you don't really know how this data come about, they can sell any price for any quality of data. So that's a problem in the ecosystem. And then second, of course, there's transparency issues in the data. You don't know where this data is from, you don't even know if it's legal, that the consumer consented that data provider to actually sell the data. Data security is a big problem. So you guys may have heard the news of Facebook. Okay, so Facebook, you can consider Facebook having a data breach. So basically, a month or so ago, they found out that in 2014, probably hundreds of millions of their users' data was actually getting leaked to one analytics firm. And either they knew about it or didn't. That is definitely a problem. And then there's also cost-effective as well as legal problems. A lot of legal problems in consumer data. So other than data, there's actually a B2C engagement problem. So the method of engagement is not very healthy. So these enterprises are really pushing the message to the consumer without much consent and without the consumer getting much value. They're getting annoyed. It's a form of a solicitation more than kind of based on mutual agreement. And some of our customers have their own B2C application, you know, our banking customers, etc. But they create very little engagement, very little stickiness. Their customers don't really like to use it and such. So I'm not going to get into this anymore, but at the bottom of it, if you use technology, centralized data technology and marketing technology to increase the efficiency of things, but it's somewhat of a marginal increase because it does not change the nature and the structure of the interaction itself. So after months of researching this, we found that a decentralized system, such as blockchain, was necessary for this to work. And really, having a good one-to-one relationship with their customers is really you need to fix both problems, both the data and engagement part of it. So, long story short, last year, Q3, we first decided to build the platform on top of Neo. We actually built a couple prototypes. We already developed a couple of prototypes using Neo as well as Ethereum, but it just wasn't working out. It didn't really fit our customers' needs. Their needs was actually much more than what these general blockchain platforms could provide at the moment in time. Now, I believe Neo and Ethereum are very good platforms in their own way, but it was just not the right solution for us. So then we decided to build our own vertical use case blockchain for all B2C type interactions. So the way our customers can use the blockchain includes marketing, includes customer insights, includes CRM, includes loyalty, and customer lifecycle in general. Now, an emerging trend is real applications that have business value. They're getting built faster on use case specific blockchains, or slightly more use case specific blockchains. Some examples include, Korea's very own Icon, and Wanchain as well as VeChain, that's also based out of Shanghai. So we believe that this is actually a very huge market because it covers all of the B2C verticals. B2C is one mega vertical, but under that there's probably 20 to 30 sub-industries. Probably 6 are very representative. First is retail, automotive, travel, finance, luxury, and lifestyle and education. Okay, in these industries, there's already experiments that's begun with blockchain technology to improve the customer experience. But most of them are using private chains such as solutions from IBM, which doesn't really work if it's a B2C application and it needs to be on an open ecosystem. So, some of you may read the new white paper that was just released 2 days ago. So I'm just going to go over some interesting new aspects of our blockchain. Okay. So the Apex network has a new feature that is not seen on many blockchains called sidechains. When you have various different applications on one single chain, it clogs up the entire blockchain, and it creates performance inefficiencies. For example, the CryptoKitties app, it blocked up the Ethereum network and created problems for like everything else. So what sidechains are is, if I have like an enterprise, say for example a car company like Ford, if it wants to create its own consumer decentralized application, all it needs to do is create a new sidechain, and its own tokens, its assets, and its applications occur on the sidechain. It does not slow down the main network. But the main network still has a record of all the transactions on the sidechain. And we also have a new 3-layer smart contract system, which basically means that a part of the smart contract, the logic of the smart contract, can actually be stored off-chain. Now that might sound weird because the purpose of blockchain is being on-chain, but in fact this is a more scalable way to develop a smart contract system, as well as it can do a lot more things such as connect to external systems. Apex Data Connector is actually an existing technology that Chinapex has been using for the past 2 years. It started development in 2016, but we're redeveloping it and having very heavy modifications just for this blockchain use case. What it can do is it can connect smart contracts to outside systems such as like CRM or even outside devices like IoT, and it makes it a very easy process to do so. So an existing technology that does something similar is called oracles. You may have heard of that on the Ethereum chain, but they're very hard to use and take a lot of time to really develop. And here's something interesting. So we're also going to have an enterprise asset DEX on top of the Apex blockchain. What an enterprise asset, you can think about it, is a brand or an enterprise's own token. Say for example, if Korean Airlines puts its rewards point system onto the blockchain, then that becomes an asset on the blockchain. But if it cannot be traded for other companies' reward points or assets, then it becomes much less valuable of a system. Now, we can achieve network effects by instantly exchanging, for example, Korean Air's loyalty points directly for Park Hyatt hotel points or something like that, right? So we can imagine the possibilities in that, and it's not just one-to-one, it's end-to-end connections you can create. It's kind of a network effect. So this DEX it has a system in which it can provide liquidity instantly through a reserve system. And of course, on the application side, CPX Wallet is in development. We're also trying to find Korean developers to have a localized Korean version for CPX Wallet, as well as some localized features. We may work with some Korean companies and brands in that sense. Of course, Nexus will also be integrated into Apex. That's only a very natural thing because that's our company's core product as well. Timeline, there's a lot of companies already signing up for pilot program. There's already been around 60, 70 signups, but we cannot actually take that much because these pilot programs require a lot of resources. Okay, from our team as well as from our research and development team. So I think we can only support maximum 20 companies' pilot programs in the coming Q4 when testnet launches. And of course, the mainnet is set for Q1 and Q2 of next year. And of course, customer ecosystem is still growing. By the end of this year, we may have 400 customers in the Chinapex ecosystem, which plays very well to Apex Network's benefits. And of course, we partnered with some big tech ecosystems such as Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Accelerator, and Amazon Web Services. And that's it for now.